How's everybody doing this morning? Great. So I started 10 minutes late for you all, just because I thought that would be a little better and tried out this lovely new system. So let's try one more time. How's everybody doing this morning? Yay! So we have a room packed full of visitors today. So I wanted to time that perfectly so you can introduce your
Mouthful of potatoes.
Yeah, perfect timing.
My guest this morning is Alanna Powell, and I will give her a larger introduction later, but she's our speaker today.
My guest today is Amanda Nelson. She is the HSU Compliance Officer in Athletics.
Yeah, that sounds weird.
Brandon, you had a chance to bring a guest and you didn't. You didn't even give me pictures of the guests.
I can send them right now. Should I send them?
Yes, we should get those included soon.
Okay.
But
Okay. Gotcha.
back table. Interact.
Yes. Not last time.
My name is Eve for Workita High School. I'm Liza from Workita High.
All right. Thank you.
This is Patrick Curtis. He just wants to check out what we're doing up here.
All right.
Angelo, then there's Angelo. Club Rotary thing is all about.
You know, I think you'd be a good fit here. Am I? Yeah, you can make it down here every morning.
Are you a member up there?
No.
Oh.
I haven't found a club that I like. I'm still looking. We're hoping some of this change.
Start your own.
I'm not exactly sure if it was myself or Dustin, but you were scheduled to be president and then moved away. So I'm going to sit down. You're going to finish the meeting. Now we see why you moved.
I am a guest.
A guest. Yes, you're a lovely guest. And we have no guests at this table. All right, perfect. And what are those? Backpacks.
Paperback.
Do we have anything to say about backpacks? As in, who's filling them? Wait, you have something to say?
I'll pack.
You'll pack.
Yes.
Yes. How many other people will pack? Wow. Do we have any deliveries?
We need somebody.
Anybody to deliver?
We need a delivery. All right. We're all deliver.
Thank you.
Look at you. Why, thank you. Now, before we go into all of the announcements, you know, I was just going to comment about mornings and how it's always dark. Habitually, I do this in the mornings. You want to know the best part, AJ, about the Rotary meetings once the sun actually comes out? I might need these, so I'll have to get you a pair. But anyway.
You hear that section sound?
Yes, well, it's taking it off. That's the... So... Who else has hats? Do we have other hats? Oh, look at that! Would you come up front without...
I'm going to come up front.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know you guys think the way I'm dressed that I'm celebrating 420. That's my birthday. That's not right. Time to go to horse races. An exciting time. I'm really getting pumped up about this. It's going to be a great event. I want to make sure you invite all your friends. Sell your tickets.
Wow. Wow, you closed it before you even handed it to the guy wearing the...
Right here, flyers, take them to your friends, have a good time. In fact, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and take care of my obligations ahead of time. I'm going to buy my tickets right now.
Yeah.
That way, that stuff is all behind me and I don't have to worry about it. I can just make decisions.
How are you going to do that, Chris?
What's that?
How are you going to pay? You make it look so
Each
easy.
one has money left on it.
Could anybody do that?
Anybody can do that.
Everybody can try.
Do we have a sign of cards around the room that might want to pay?
Right now.
Anybody else want to take care of their obligation? That way, what's nice about this is I don't have to worry about it. I just know I got to sell my tickets to recoup my money.
So you see it signing your name?
Right on.
All right.
Look at that.
That was great work.
Good work.
You won't even let me grab his shoulder, he just runs from me.
What's that?
Nothing. I would run from me too. What? No, come
Can I
on.
piggyback on that?
Oh,
Today is, I know I didn't bring pictures, and I'll bring pictures.
Hi, Dad.
Thank you. Regarding the Taste of Spring, I actually paid for mine too, because today's payday for me. It's Friday, so just, I mean, it's another incentive to just do it now, right? It's like paying rent. Just get it done first. The other thing is Sign Up Genius will be going out today, so check your email. And I broke it down by times and, events just like before. And just pick a time that works for you. You have something to say?
You're gonna be on the radio, right?
I'm gonna be on the radio too. Yeah. I guess. I found out 5-10 minutes ago I'm gonna be on the radio. I've been volunteering. I guess that's how it works. So.
What time?
Brandon,
Yes.
since it's payday, I'm going to follow your example and I'm going to let you pay for my tickets too.
I will.
Wait a minute, you're paying for all of our tickets?
No.
But
Just
also,
dicks.
remember that in the past, we've had to come up with so much. We've had to come up with auction items and raffle items and live auction items. And this time, buy your tickets, $10. But we do have to contribute $25 also. That goes to one of the big items. And a bottle of wine if you didn't do that. So, and then we're done. It's easy peasy compared to what it's been in the past.
Nice. True. Thank you, Nick, for taking care of all those. All right. Karen, you got something? Go for it.
I need a work crew on Tuesday night. We're going to meet at Umpqua. We're going to put together these boxes for the Taste of Spring decorations. So hopefully you can join me there at about 5:30.
Tuesday night where?
At Umpqua, at the conference room at AJ's Bank.
President Ray, will you hold that up so people can see it?
So
Wait, here, so you can hear that. Tuesday night?
Tuesday night
Umpqua?
at Umpqua in their conference room.
At what time?
Around 5:30.
Tuesday night, 5:30, Umpqua.
And I need some help. So appreciate it.
That is really cool.
All right, back to announcements. Announcements? Anyone? Announcements?
I have one. On April 27th, we're having our women's self-defense seminar at my Taekwondo schools from 1 to 3. So if you want to get registered, just email me and I'll give you the phone number. Or check my Facebook.
I sense an announcement from the back table. Something about spaghetti.
Yeah.
I'm in. We'll talk to these ladies afterwards.
I do too. Yes, May 3rd, same day as your guys' event, we have a spaghetti dinner. But we are still doing a special deal that you guys can come an hour early at 5 o'clock instead of 6, so you can still make it to your event if you want spaghetti dinner tickets. You can talk to us afterwards. They're $8 for one person or $30 for 4. And
Perfect. Other announcements? I already gave backpacks. We're going to give it again now. We got a ton of hands. Ton of hands. Try it again. How many backpackers?
Excellent.
See, we're doing well.
how many people didn't get their tickets?
Yes, how many people do not have tickets? Is there anyone who hasn't received tickets? Well,
They're coming, I hear.
that's coming. We promise they are. All right. Announcements. You would have?
In Portugal? Absolutely. Thank
Announcements? You have to have an announcement. You just look excited. What is it?
Well, I do actually. There's a few people in this room that I'm going to ask to help us out with certain fun aspects at the event. We need a couple masters of ceremonies. We need somebody who will help us with the hat contest, and we need somebody who will help us pick the winning tickets. So don't rush out of here at the end today, because I don't think those are. Because I have you in my sights.
All right. So, other fun announcement. Today is two different national days. One, it's National Garlic Day. So, likes garlic. Perfect. So you should take care of that. But the other one was kind of to celebrate roaming, which is a little weird because you ride your bike every morning, and today is National Bicycle Day. So, it's for you.
Speech.
On that note, what other day is it? It's day for Finn's Week in Review. So, you got to come up in front. And guess what? I didn't bring a clicker for you this week because I don't like technology. So you have to, you know the drill. You know the drill. It's always messed up for you.
So last Friday on the 13th of April, we started our trip to New York, Washington DC, and Philadelphia. And Nancy first picked us up at like lunchtime, and then we drove down to San Francisco. It was a long ride, but it was okay. But then I really thought I could really manage it pretty well. But the red-eye flight was like completely bad because the next day I was so tired, and we were in the hotel. Luckily we had like nothing to do, so we were just sitting in the lobby and we're like sleeping and I don't know, like wandering around, and waited till dinner. And then the next day everything started, and we went the first time to New York, which we had a bus charter for the whole time. So the next day we went into New York, which was like 20-30 minutes away. And there we had 2 days guided tour, and so we saw really a lot. We started at the Rockefeller Center, and then we went to the Central Park over here, and we saw the financial district. So we really did a lot. And in the night, which was one of the coolest things, was that we went to the Times Square and had dinner at Hard Rock Cafe, and it was really, really impressive to see all these buildings with all that light. And then we also went to college, which was pretty to see, but we didn't go inside.
Columbia.
Didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's just slow.
Okay. The next day we went to the 9/11 Memorial, which was really, really impressive to us, especially because we had a tour guide and he told us a lot about it. And then for me, the buildings, what they built out there again, was like just super, super impressive. And they look all kind of the same, but they don't have the same shape, so it was really, really beautiful. And after that, that was in the morning. First in the morning, we went on to the Empire State Building, which was really, really cool. But the first day would have been maybe a little bit better because the weather then a little bit changed. But we could see something, but not that great. And then we went to the UN, which was really, really cool to see. And then we had also a tour, so we learned a lot again. And the buildings were really, really cool. And I didn't know that we go there, so I had like, we got this plan what we're gonna do, but I didn't see that we go to the UN, which was cool to see too. But the tour guide wasn't so happy when we asked questions, so that was kind of sad.
There will be no questions.
We have one kid from India, and he really not really agreed with like the blue with the military station in like India, and so she didn't really want to talk about that. And yeah, the next event was that we went to the Statue of Liberty, which was really nice to see, but I didn't walk up. It was super, super cold. It was like the coldest day we had, and we had it there. And so everybody was out there for like half an hour freezing, took the pictures and went back in. Yeah. So the next day, that was 3 days in New York, and the next day we left New York early in the morning and drove to Philadelphia. There we just spent the day and had lunch there. And I really like Philadelphia. It's a nice, really cool town. And compared to New York, not that big, and you feel like it's like you can see over the city and you kind of know where something is. And New York, you look up and you're like, oh, where's my location right now? So right in the afternoon, we drove to the next hotel in Washington, D.C. And then the next 2 days, we're in Washington, D.C. And there we looked at a lot of memorials, which was really, really cool to see. Especially the really big ones were super impressive. And then we could go to Washington's house where he lived, which was really nice to see, but we couldn't take pictures inside, which was kind of sad because there were many original pictures, and so they didn't allow that. But it was really nice to see, and it's a huge, huge property. And the last day, we went to the Capitol, and we could go in there, which was really, really cool. And we could also go to the U.S. Congress, so it was a really, really cool tour. But again, we couldn't take pictures because it wasn't allowed. And then we had something scheduled for the White House, but that didn't happen because Trump was there. That was the first kind of like problem. So the security level was already high, and then the second problem was that a person decided to set his outer jacket on fire, so the whole White House was under lockdown. And that's the picture we got out of the bus driving next to it. So there were some students pretty sad about that, that they couldn't see the White House because a lot of them came to see the White House, and then
Couldn't even get out of the bus?
no, everything was under lockdown. We just drove by, and then we had more time at the hotel. Yeah. And that was my trip. That was a really, really fun day, fun trip. Oh no! So my flight got canceled. I had a flight on Saturday with Alaska, and they rescheduled it for Monday. And so that was like not really exciting, but like, oh my god, what should we do? And so Beta really helped, and we got another flight scheduled on Saturday, but in the afternoon. That meant I had to fly out at 4 p.m. and arrived at 7 p.m. in San Francisco. Then I slept at Artie's house in Santa Rosa, and the next morning I got picked up, and we drove up here, but it was like super hard. It was a problem because Nancy and all the other exchange students out of the district left Saturday at like 1, 2 p.m. Went up, and so Nancy went again down to Willows. And I'm super thankful for Nancy that she did that. Yeah. She's really awesome.
Thanks, man.
Well done.
Worked out well. So, thank you. So, I'm going to ask a question, and this is going to, if you can answer it right, you're going to know who the Rotarian of the Week is. If you think about pretty much any Rotary event, there's usually one or two people who show up that you see at everything. So who are the people that you seem to see at everything? Okay. I did see someone in the back point at the person in question. So, let's see. If you watched the slideshow before, you may have noticed that there were a bunch of pictures at the Hemp Hills home of painting. And Janice was there. And Janice isn't even in the club at this point. I mean, that's great. So there's somebody who would bring her and who is at every single event. And every picture that I ever see of this guy, we'll all be posing for a photo going, and where is Craig? He's in the background with a brush. I absolutely... all of my pictures for the year, and you're in like every picture.
We're a participation organization.
And there you go. So. All right. We're going to ignore the fact that this says raffle because we're going to let introduce our speaker.
Are you done?
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I don't want to, I don't want it to like, because you know how shy I am, and I hate to speak.
I know, I've been talking.
And I forgot my hat this morning. So how many here have ever been to the Friday night market in Eureka? All right, we want to see way more hands when I ask that question. Yeah. Well, no, yeah, exactly, Maggie. And how many of you have bought a locally made product, food product? Okay. How many of you have been in the new Eureka Visitor Center at the Clark Museum? Oh, that's pretty good. Great. Well, all of those are brought to you by Humboldt Made and the Eureka Visitor Center group. And it's my pleasure to have Alanna Powell here this morning. Alanna is, I'm not even sure your title, Executive Director, General Manager, CEO, whatever, of Humboldt Made, which is also the sponsor of the Eureka Visitor Center and the Friday Night Market. And there's a bunch of cool stuff coming up as well this year. And so it's really kind of exciting. There's a lot of stuff they do publicly, but there's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes that they do. And so I thought it'd be a great program as we stumble into spring. I think we might even put the string together 2 days of sun this week. So give a warm welcome to Alanna Powell, and let's hear more about what they do. Excellent.
Sorry. Thank you, Greg. Thank you all for having me. I've heard really wonderful things about this group in particular. John Richmond, I believe, belongs to this. He's also a board member. He raves about this particular group. As Greg said, yes, I am the executive director of Humboldt Made. We're a nonprofit organization really dedicated to helping our smaller makers and producers grow outside of the county to be more sustainable. We also do a whole lot more. So this is going to be a little funny because it's a PDF instead of a slideshow, but thank you, Ray, for making something happen. So what are made-in organizations? We have, at this point, 50 plus made-in organizations across the U.S. Most of them they tend to be state or city-oriented. We partner, I'm in direct contact with Portland and Seattle the most frequently. We swap stories and get ideas, what works, what doesn't work. And we all have very different missions based off of who we're helping out. Humboldt County, for whatever reason, or, actually, no, I think our organization, for whatever reason, tends to be more food, body, and beverage product oriented. So a lot of what we do caters to those industries. Our mission is to grow the Redwood Coast economy through supporting homegrown businesses and providing development activities that assist businesses within our county and that create jobs. It's kind of funny to do it with media. So we try to take everything that Humboldt County has to offer and incorporate that into our marketing and helping out these businesses grow outside of the county. Humboldt, as you all know, has a true spirit to itself, and all of these producers really, it gets in their product, and it's seen outside of the county in a pretty profound way. And I'll go into some of the shows that we do where we get that feedback. Oh, come on. Come on. You can do it.
Just so you know, I'm actually cursed, so this is my...
We can. Okay.
are on the left side.
So I'll go into how do you become a member and what that all entails. Our criteria is pretty simple. You have to have a product that's produced within Humboldt County, at least 50% did you get it? Wow, good job, Ray. So just so you know, Ray volunteered almost every Friday night market. So was well run due to him and a few others. So what we do, we connect, we network, we collaborate, we promote. Everything we do kind of falls under that category. We're pretty flexible. We don't have too many grants. We're nimble and are able to move at the drop of a hat. That's kind of what makes us particularly special and able to accomplish as much as we do. Not a whole lot of red tape in our organization. So when pretty much for me to go, yes, let's do that, or enough to bring it to the board for them to confirm, it has to be 2 or 3 businesses coming to us and saying, hey, I really think this is a good idea. This is going to help us out. And as long as there's multiple companies that project is going to help out, we'll pursue it. Some are successful, some are not. It's all trial and error. So connecting, one of the top reasons why people join is very much why you're here. It's connecting with like-minded individuals and feeling that sense of support. Being an entrepreneur is sometimes a very lonely endeavor. You tend to have extremely long work weeks, if not just completely 24 hours a day. So socializing can kind of fall by the wayside. Getting them together, being able to talk about, the nitty-gritty of what their business is slightly different than a chamber because people do have very in-depth conversations on what's going on with their business. And they're really collaborative and supportive of each other across the board. And in particular, similar industries where you would think, so take the breweries, where you would think that they're in direct competition, there's 6 of them, they're absolutely not. They are in constant communication, they have an email thread, if someone needs something and the other company has it, they'll support that. So they have their beefs once in a while. It's not a perfect world, but our newsletter is definitely how we communicate everything. It has, if we have something coming up, we don't stick to a monthly newsletter. If there's 1 or 2 things that are happening, we'll send it out, just keep information flowing. We have several working groups, so this is actually a slightly older slide, so we do have a tourism group, and we're an exciting new venture as we're partnering with the Humboldt Artisans Association. Wait, is it association or is it group? So that is Christina Anastasia. Is anyone familiar with her jewelry? She's a fabulous jeweler. She and her partner got together and said, we really see a need for helping out the smaller solo entrepreneurs, the artisans, in growing outside of the county. Our programming isn't very artisan-centric, and so they came to me and said, hey, we're already going up and down the coast. We would like to collaborate and get more artisans so that our efforts can spread the love. And they started that, and then we jumped in to help them with helping these artisans market themselves. So that's our role in that partnership. Workshops, we tend to do about 2 series of workshops. We wrapped up our last one in January. It was a all marketing-centric, branding-centric workshop, 5-parter. We also partner heavily with SBDC and promote all that they do to our members. Buyers tours and press tours. So periodically, we'll get a group of buyers together and bring them up. We'll wine them and dine them, show them all the wonderful things about Humboldt County, and we end with a big celebration, and everyone has their products on display so that they can have that direct communication. Very similar to a trade show scenario, but it's so much more personal and so much more reflective of kind of who we are here. And then we always facilitate connections with expertise. If I don't know the answer for a member, I usually know who does know that answer, so I'm always a resource for these folks. Collaboration, I would say, is our #1 value with this organization. It's where we get the most accomplished and the members get the most bang for their buck. We do trade shows. Expo West is one of our biggest ones. We just came back actually a couple weeks ago. We had 19 businesses in our booth. We had 10 by 50 booth, which is the largest we've had this year. There's over 100,000 buyers attend this show. It's the largest natural product show in the United States, arguably the world. And Humboldt shines bright. So that was 19 businesses within our booth, but we've been doing this for 6 years, and a lot of those businesses who have been in our booth have graduated and now have their own. So there's a lot of cross promotion. We always have marketing materials that say, hey, this is definitely the Humboldt Made booth, but we've got Humboldt Made here, 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 and here. This one, we got a lot of jokes. We really worked it with the Murder Mountain series. People knew a little more about Humboldt County based off of that, so there was a lot of joking amongst the members of, yeah, if you go down to that coffee company, they're one of the murderers. So, a lot of fun with that one. Co-op photography, as you know, picture is 1,000 words. So we always encourage our businesses to really shine when it comes to photography. It's your building block with all your marketing. Co-op programs, ad programs. We work with the North Coast Journal, the LOCO, all of our local press to provide cheaper advertising. Product collaborations. This is not so much what Humboldt Made does, but it's definitely the connections that these businesses build with each other. I think right now Humboldt Distillery is partnering with Humboldt Bay Coffee and Dick Taylor to do a chocolate liqueur and a coffee liqueur. Charlie, do you partner with anyone? Dick Taylor, yes.
Yeah, Los Bagels, yeah, quite a few.
So there's a lot of overlap, which is just heartwarming, really. Organizational collaborations, REDEC definitely, SBDC. We're partners with all the chambers and promote everything that the chambers are doing. Both chambers are very active right now, which is wonderful. We promote. So does anyone follow us on social media, Instagram or Facebook? Can I make a kind request that if you are on social media, you track us down and you follow us, because we post a lot of fun stuff. Getting the word out with our businesses, anything that they send me, I tend to just repost. We have a pretty strong social media presence. Our website is a great resource for people outside of the area looking for products here. I get a lot of very strange calls of, hey, I would like to make a purchase for a Rise Bakery. Well, I'm not the person for that, but I can get you that contact. It happens a little too frequently. Our website has amazing traffic, actually. It's older and our SEO is good. So Google likes us clearly and we're doing all the right things. We get decent traction. Our blog, member features, really telling the story about who these people are and what they're up to. Definitely check that out. We do a ton of events. We have a gift store at the Visitor Center and grocery stores. I mean, if you've been in Wildberries, our logo is probably obnoxiously everywhere. We also partner with E&F. So, like I was about to go into, our membership is definitely, we try to be all-encompassing, but we try to absolutely stay to the roots of these need to be Humboldt-made products. It's pretty simple. These are some of our members. Altogether, I believe right now we have 96 makers and producers. Fun fact, all of our local distilleries are owned by husband and wife duos. Both husband and wives also distill too, which is very unique. Not the case with the breweries or the cideries or anything else. So about a year and a half ago, 2 years now, Humboldt Made's always focused on tourism as definitely an opportunity for increasing our, improving our economy locally and turning on visitors to our products so that they go home and and hopefully purchase when they're outside of the area. So we proposed to the city of Eureka when they opened up an RFP for the visitor center. We were awarded that contract, and we've been operating the visitor center for about a year and a half now. It's going quite well. We do tourism action groups, and I'll go into what we're doing there, and community participation, just a lot of partnerships of, you know, what our organization tends to do is fill in the gaps and help out and assist where need be. These launched, the tourism action groups launched in January, and it was pretty much based off of hearing the feedback from the visitors through the visitor center, local businesses within the district, or the predominantly tourism-centric districts within Eureka, and going, okay, well, how can we all improve this? How can we get the community involved, get the business community involved, and be action-oriented? So we developed beautification, marketing, and safety. We have this is going to be, right now we're working on a very large cleanup of 4th and 5th. We're really focusing on, as you turn the bend going north towards us now, feeling like you're entering into a new district. As you all know, Broadway is a bit of an eyesore. No one is a fan. So really working with what we have. You compare us to other cities of our size, and we have a lot to offer. And often our community it doesn't recognize that to its fullest. Maybe they need to travel more. But there's a lot there. So we're just helping, partnering with the city, partnering with Main Street. Yes.
I just wanted to say that my garden club plants those hanging planters for Old Town, and we did it 2 weeks ago, and so they're now being taken care of, and they're going to go up pretty soon. And I just want to
and I believe you're helping out with the cement planters on 4th and 5th. Thank you. So our cleanup, I believe, is on May 4th, if anyone's interested in volunteering. Marketing action group, just trying to increase the positive messaging. Again, I think we have a bit of an identity crisis when it comes to Eureka, and focusing on the positive and hopefully making somewhat of an impact in that way. And safety, partnering heavily with EPD on this one. They've been incredibly supportive, just kind of helping address some of the bigger issues. Of course, they're not within our purview, out of our pay grade, all of the above. But there are some smaller wins that we can assist with and just be the lead on it. Sometimes it just takes a lead. There are tons of community members who are very passionate about getting involved and helping out. So we kind of fill that spot. So the night market was a fun
nice back of the head there.
time. Is that you?
Yeah.
It is you.
Giant noggin.
So these two,
I am. I'm holding it up.
Greg was pretty much at every single night market, am I correct?
Yeah.
Picking up trash right before the market, making sure that the whole layout was spick and span, mostly cigarette butts for your biggest.
Yes,
yeah.
I've been quite skilled at that.
Yeah. And Ray was big in our bar and helping manage that. This came out of identifying that other locations similar to us who have experienced kind of an economic downturn, that public markets were a big change. You know, it got people down into Old Town and downtown, kind of changed their perspective as far as what's down there. We definitely all get into our ruts and, you know, go our ways and kind of stick with them. So this was our way of going, hey, we've got a lot going down here. Let's let all of our artisans shine. Let's let our musicians and our performers and just have this big community event. I was really stuck on having it every Friday just because, I mean, people still don't know when Arts Alive is, and it's been going on for 20 plus years. So I really wanted to do something that's, you don't even have to think about when is that, where is that. I think we drilled it in. On average, we had about 1,200 people come per market. We didn't actually experience much fluctuation, which I was a little surprised by. It seem to stay very steady. A lot of regulars, but always new people and very diverse demographics, from young teenagers to older retired folks. These are some of the benefits of public markets in general. So another thing that we do, which is slightly random, but I need like a captain's hat when I switch to this project. Cruise ship recruitment. I just came back from Miami for a cruise ship conference in which we met with Holland America, Princess, and many other cruise liners to increase the cruise ship within our bay. So we have 4 on the docket right now and looking to explore. Our goal is about 10 a year, nothing very significant. They don't, because of the size of our bay and what we can handle, these tend to be smaller boutique liners, very much kind of fit with our Humboldt County vibe and what we have to offer. And they just, people love us in that industry for whatever reason. They're very intrigued. So we'll see how that goes. The economic impact is not profound. Not a whole lot of people go and run in downtown, which is usually the #1 reason why cities pursue this. But they are marketing machines. So once they have you as a port stop, they will market you till you're blue in the face, which they are already doing for our city. Okay, what's up ahead? We've got tons of events, so I'm just going to jump to the events really quick. How am I doing on time? 3 minutes? Before this, we have the Eureka Beer Mile, which I personally am participating in. I've got the drinking down. I need help with the running. It's this Saturday at Halverson Park. It's a benefit for the CAPE program, as well as Humboldt Made, and we're partnering with the Humboldt Bay Marathon. That's from 2 to 6. Should be very entertaining to watch people try to drink a beer, run a quarter mile, drink a beer, repeat for 4. You all need to come. See, if you're laughing, it's hard now. Salt and Fog Fish Fest. This is Friday, April 26th. We have a pub crawl with 21 pubs in Old Town and downtown. I really hope no one completes the entire map. I think that would be...
And if they do, please don't come to the theater.
The pub crawl is followed by, at the Eureka Theater, Jaws is playing, which I'm still scarred from.
Yeah, me too.
So, and then April 27th, we have the tall ships. We've got a ton of seafood vendors. We have a clam chowder, cook-off, artisans, makers, tons of music. The Matakit is out and about earlier than she normally is. And Humboldt Bay Aquatic Center has kayak rentals. The Yacht Club is doing yacht races. So it's just a lot of water-centric, celebrating our waterfront in Old Town. The Great Race is quite a big event that's passing through Humboldt County. It's an antique car race that's usually predominantly on the East Coast. This is one of their first times coming to California. They're going from the very San Diego area and then going all the way up to Tacoma. So that should be fun. They'll be stopping in on the 25th. You can check out all those really cool old cars. We've got Fringe Fest, Victorian Christmas, and I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you. Huh?
You gotta ask questions, because I know there's plenty.
Questions? Yes.
Has there been any interest in, similar to Napa and Sonoma with wine tours, is there any interest in legal cannabis tourism, since we're talking about Humboldt Made?
Absolutely, absolutely. Matt Kurth, who's our first and only currently certified cannabis tour operator, he is a Humboldt Made member, fabulous guy. If you haven't done a tour, I highly recommend it. It's really entertaining and quite an experience. And he always, with his lunches, he always incorporates, it's all Humboldt Made, so he makes us shine. Cool. Any other questions?
You said 96 members to Humboldt made. Are you funded by their dues, or do you have other funding, other than the contract that you have with the center and so forth?
Yes, so we have membership dues, sponsorships, larger sponsorships, grants, the city of Eureka, and a lot of fundraising. It's pretty much how we stay afloat.
Is the Friday night market a money maker? Do people pay for their booth, or?
People pay for their booth, and we earn revenue from the bar in particular. That's our biggest money maker. It pretty much is a well-oiled machine. It pays for itself, so it's we haven't had to seek out too many sponsorships or anything to pay for it. What I would like to do is promote, get more sponsorships to beef up our marketing budget to increase the attendance. And we're also doubling the layout and already have twice as many vendors for the full season. So it should be bigger and better, and 2 stages.
And what's this season?
It starts on June 7th and goes till the end of September.
Are you only accepting retail businesses, or do you take wholesale manufacturing members?
We almost predominantly only wholesale manufacturers. So we have very few retail members. Just because most of what we do, they wouldn't get a whole lot out of it. Any other questions?
How does it impact the businesses in the back on that street when you set up in front of them?
It's been a big learning curve with that. Some businesses did express concern. Other businesses claimed that they were down in sales and then monitored and realized they weren't, but things did change. So the flow of people, what they were normally doing at that time, changed and altered it. We are improving our layout so that no booth is up against a business. We're going down the middle and then encouraging all the businesses to stay open so that they are more integrated into the market.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I
Appreciate it.
appreciate you.
Wheelchair Foundation, so thank you. Having a great Friday market season, so.
You're going to be there, aren't you?
Well, we'll talk about that afterwards. All right, we have to do a raffle. And she's on it, she already knew. You know what, I have to say, I love this organization. This is like the most well-oiled machine. It doesn't matter how much I jumble it up with broken electronics and all kinds of stuff. You guys just keep doing all the stuff you're supposed to do. So, I'm trying. You know what? You're going to take that challenge up though, aren't you? Yes.
Okay. 6946430.
430.
Ooh.
Dollar on the table.
Good job.
You got a sponsor.
6946445.
445.
Thank you.
Can I get 10 more tickets?
At this point, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, backpacks. Let's try this one more time. Raise your hand if you're going to do backpacks. I feel like we have fewer than we did before. That's questionable. All right, I know we've got it. We've got a delivery in the back. And 8 o'clock.